started this channel to discuss the various philosophical things that strike my mind from time to time. So, this is another one of those things, but I think this is something really worth wondering about because when many of us practice Stoicism, and not just theoretically, like applying it in day to day life, in everyday situations, I think we start correctly, but slowly forget what the purpose of the theory was. And the thing that I'm specifically talking about is what is the difference between the fear of emotions and control of emotions. Now, Stoicism is about control of emotions, right? But I don't know how it happens, but it's just so subtle for me at least. So if you are facing the same situation or if that thing rang a bell, you should continue watching. So I want you to ask yourself this. Whenever you are facing an uncertain situation, right, where there are multiple outcomes possible, obviously most of them are bad, but some of them are good. Stoicism says that you should mentally prepare for the worst outcome, right? And that is what many of us people do. But what really matters is, are you mentally preparing for that outcome, or are you accepting that outcome? Like, are you accepting it and then living in it before the decision has been made? So this is a really important distinction because one is, yeah, I'll accept any outcome that happens. I am not expecting a good outcome, right? But and the other thing is, there's only one way in which these things can go, and it's a bad outcome. And I have already accepted that this is going to be a bad outcome. Now, it may be helpful to think like the latter, but slowly over time, what I have noticed is that slowly it turns into the fear of emotions and as a way to avoid emotions completely, right? So you are now preparing for the worst case scenario because you are afraid of taking that emotional hit in case you were hoping for something better and things did not turn out the way you wanted them to. I don't think that this only happens with me. I think everyone who has gone sufficiently deep into stoicism or thinks this much, this has happened. So I want you to question yourself of what is your mindset, because a true stoic mindset, or the healthier mindset actually, because the thing that I just mentioned is just anxiety in a different form. All right. So stoicism is more about, I can handle whatever comes. I am not living in denial. I am not living with some uh, wild expectations, right? I am living in the present. I do not know what the outcome will be. I am mentally prepared for the worst case outcome, but I am not currently living that outcome, and I am not forcing myself to accept that outcome before anything has even happened. So, really, what I think this boils down to is being in control of your emotions is more important. What that translates to in real life is not preparing excessively for the worst case outcome before the outcome has even happened, but instead trusting yourself to handle whatever the outcome brings. How do you do that? That's obviously through logic, right? You should process your emotions logically. Instead of, obsessively dwelling over the worst case outcome. So why does this matter? This matters because when you are constantly living in a state of this is going to be the worst, right? Uh, Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. That is a form of anxiety. Anxiety is not good for your health, right? So, and the other thing is that it's just not pleasant to live in a constant state of worry and in the constant state of nothing has gone according to my intentions or how I wanted them to. Because now notice what you're doing. You're suffering inside your head. Nothing has even happened yet. You are just suffering inside your head, and preparing does not make the hit softer when it actually happens. All that does is make your current life even more miserable. So I think that's something to keep in mind and somewhat of a profound realization. I hope if you are watching, you have some thoughts on this, and if you have, please comment them.